Hello, everyone, and welcome to another one of my Ascension messages. My name is Bobbie Richardson, and I will be your guide for today. I am a channeler and a seer, and I also dabble in a bit of tarot, sometimes for entertainment. I'm live on Tuesday mornings between 7 and 7:30 for an hour, and Thursday mornings between 7 and 7:30 for an hour. One is tarot, that's today, that's Tuesday, and Thursdays are all to do with channeling. But that is AEST time, which is Queensland Australia time. So today with the tarot, we are going to start off and see what's happening with the energies at the moment. If anyone doesn't realize, I'm actually back home now. I was on holiday for a while. Hey, Snizana. And the chat bar is open for free readings after the general reading. Behind me is a new piece of art. This is something else that I created a while ago of the new earth. I'm talking like decades ago I did this one. Probably 2010 or 2011 I created this. So yeah, hey Joe, good to see you. I had an absolutely amazing holiday. I really, it's like I reset myself, which is fantastic. Utilized the time to just see where my mind was going wrong and, well, not wrong, but just squiff, and reset myself into more of a balanced place, not holding on to stuff that sometimes it sneaks up on us because we've been taught so well through the educational system to copy and paste our life and hold on to things. And we think that that's the only way that we can live our life. And so we end up, things start to bleed into our reality is of the past, and we don't even realize it, that it's not even conducive to the energies of today. So it was a really amazing holiday just to chill. I went in one of those floating tanks and for like an hour, which felt like 10 minutes, and just really like reinvented myself in some ways just by being in stillness, which is really what the energy is coming up about at the moment. Learning to chill the mind so that we can reinvent ourselves and realize that our mind is not in control of us. So yeah, hey Sandy, good to see you. So I'm back with all my full decks of tarot now that I'm back home. We actually came home a day earlier. We couldn't wait to get home and see Penny and Alice. So we come back a day earlier. The first card that I pulled that just popped out while I was shuffling, I'm pretty sure these are the Alice in Wonderland deck, was Impossible Things. So we have, it's upside down, but it says impossible things, working through disbelief, imaginative leaps, and fresh perspectives. So it's all about allowing our mind to utilize our imagination and ground or bring in the things that might be outside of the box that aren't anything to do with the normal day-to-day things or what we were taught has to be in our reality, like stretching our understanding of reality outside of the norm, and then seeing what things we could at least acknowledge within our logical mind to ground and bring in. And that's why in this reality, because we've been so out of balance with the way that we've been brought up and the way that we've been programmed to believe reality is, so out of balance that we are only copy and pasting life, that it kind of, the imaginative side has oozed out somehow or another into our reality, where and people start grounding things through the imagination and that are outside of the box, and then that's seen as so-called crazy, or that the person's really going wrong, but actually they're probably a bit more imbalanced than the normal person who's only resigning through logic and trying, in the imaginational side, is trying to ground something that they know can be a possibility in their life but isn't present in reality as such in the human consciousness. It gets pretty deep, but in any case, the what they're really trying to say is that you can use your imagination in bringing in little bits at a time that you can handle. And that's why we can say to ourselves when we want to create something, I'm going to stretch my reality. I'm going to walk down the street and say, today I'm only going to meet beautiful people that love me, or you can turn it into some sort of material thing. Today I'm going to see a white spotted cat, or something like that, something completely outside the box. Or not today. I would just allow yourself to give yourself time, if it was something really out of the ordinary, to give yourself time for that to manifest into your reality. And it could just be that you turn a picture of a kid's book and it ends up being a white spotted cat on that kid's book, but at least it's something that's stretching your imagination, and you starting to ground it, or you start to see little bits of it grounding things, or you can use it to your advantage, obviously, to say, well, I really want to manifest, a certain car in my life. And so I'm going to walk out here and I'm going to start seeing that car everywhere. And then what you're doing is you're training your logical mind that just in seeing it is allowing its experience to be at least present in your reality. And then you can go one step further and say, someone's going to give me a gift of something representing that car, or something's going to happen that's to do with that car. You know what I'm saying? So you sort of stretch it and stretch it and stretch it. So we want to use our imagination to stretch our reality a little bit at a time and keep pushing it. When my guides first started to teach me this, I would say I really wanted to get some wood for my fireplace that I had in up in the hills. I was living in the mountains at the time, and then I just had this thought coming in my head as I'm walking down the street: someone's chopping some wood for you now. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to accept that. Instead of pushing it aside and saying, I'm not going to listen to that imaginative side of myself, or that intuitive thought, or whatever it was, I'm going to accept it. Okay, that's interesting. That's so cool that somebody is going to be chopping wood for me right at the moment. And then I went to the girls' school and I dropped them off, and I jumped out of the car, and here right beside my car was this very overgrown house, and in their driveway was a sign saying free wood. And I was like, you're kidding me. So I dropped the girls off, and then I opened up my boot and I started putting this free wood into my boot, and it was fresh wood. They had just chopped down a tree. I had to leave it for a year or so before I could use it because it had to dry out, but it was wood, right? And I manifested it into my reality. So this is what I mean about stretching our reality outside of the norm to at least bring in the stuff that we really desire, we really want in our reality. You could take it further. You could say, I want to see a UFO, or I want to see my beautiful grandmother that has passed over, and she might start coming in a dream, or something really outside the box. But this is why reality bleeds into those places when logic has held us bound for so long. It still oozes out. And that's what I was trying to say before. It still oozes out. And so in normal human consciousness and humanity's reality. We do have ghost stories. We do have UFO stories. And I'm not saying that any of that is just imaginary. I'm saying that sometimes we bring these things in that are the impossible because they actually do exist, and we kind of in our subconscious know about it from previous lives, and we're bringing it in. So we have this expansion of reality that looks like, from a logical point of view, it's not something we should listen to, but we should, because there's a reason why it's there. And it feels, sometimes things feel scary when we're being taught a certain way. But we need to allow these things to be present. Hey Paula, hey Divine, hey Sandy, good to see you. Okay, let's see what else comes out in the tarot. The oracle cards. This is the Alice in Wonderland deck that I'm using at the moment. Okay, so we have, don't allow anger to rule. So keep your temper. Oh, it says keep your temper. Number 20, don't allow anger to rule you. So sometimes I suppose this week could be a week within the energies. Excuse me. Sometimes this week could be within the energies of trying something new and pushing our reality, that we start to get angry with the mundane, angry with the, why do I have to do this, all that sort of thing. Just keep it in check, and try. What I would do if I'm feeling like I'm starting to get angry is I'd put it down, and then I would try again later. So always constantly keep ourselves in check. Also, remind ourselves that sometimes our logical brain, because our body wants to feel the anger because our cells are asking for that chemical release, that we can take a deep breath and and say, sometimes our logical brain gives us a thought, well, you deserve to get angry, or that person deserves you to get angry. That is honestly just a fraud statement within the mind that's trying to release that chemical so that you can have this release with the cells that are looking or asking for anger, because you're used to it over and over again. So we actually say to ourselves, we're allowed to get angry, and we're allowed to do this. We're allowed to try to control our outside reality without looking at why it went squiff in the first place. And anger is always pointed outside of ourselves. It's never something that is an internal feeling of feeling out of balance within ourselves. It's always a projection to try to control something outside of ourselves. So just keep it in check this week as well, obviously. Otherwise that card wouldn't have fallen out, would it? Thank you. I got such a big tan over there. Like I'm all tanned up from my holiday, but my forehead went red when I started peeling a bit. It was beautiful. We went in the sea heat. Really nice holiday. Okay. Just focusing on the energy of this week. People to just better understanding themselves and the energies. What messages? There's a few too many, I think, but no. 3. Okay, I'll take these 3. The first one says, forget who you are. Conditioning falls away. Memory no longer defines you. This is a perfect one that goes with the anger card, because when anger comes along, it takes over us. So a great way also to do this is to just blank ourselves out of our reality. That sounds crazy, right? But like, what you do is you say, I am no longer a mother. I am no longer an artist. So we've got to forget who we are in order to realign ourselves with who we want to be. I do this when I feel like something's coming at me all the time and I can't seem to shift it. Then I will just go, I'm no longer a mother, an artist, a partner, a lover, or whatever it is. I'm no longer anything. I'm just nothing. Like, just imagine yourself as being nothing, and then go, okay, what do I really love about my life? What do I love about myself? And I start bringing that in. So then you're not being conditioned by something outside of you. You're bringing yourself back to your authentic self of who you truly want to be, or wish to be, or desire to be, from your heart, from your soul. And the next one is never jam today. Promises that never come to be. Empty words. Not living in the now. So this is our mind tricking ourselves again, because it's, promises that never come to be. Not living in the now. In other words, it's our logic taking over too much, telling us, oh my God, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. And then our mind gets all squiffed with all of that. And we don't come into this living in the now, of being in an empty space within our minds, so that we can just breathe through. Because most of the time when something is happening outside of you and you can't control it or whatever, if you let it go, you'll find that you'll actually seek the answer from within of why you put yourself in that position in the first place. And then you can take it from a different perspective, change it within yourself, and then you'll watch that the person that was projecting that, it actually stops, because you have shifted your energy into something completely different, and they don't seem to get the same feeling from you, thinking that they need to control you in order to feel peace within themselves. So this week I'm feeling is all to do with finding peace within ourselves, instead of trying to heal somebody outside ourselves to find peace, and trying to heal everyone outside ourselves would never work. But finding peace within ourselves, when we do that, we set off a different energy, or reality within our core self, and then everybody starts to reflect back that. And so it becomes an inside out job rather than looking outside to fix everything. Becoming braver, resilience, experience, growing stronger, fresh perspective. And here we come full circle, really, to fresh perspectives, right? Impossible things, working through disbelief, imaginative leaps, fresh perspective. Same. Both of them have got fresh perspective on the outside. Underneath, sorry. Becoming braver, resilience, experience, growing stronger. And what is that in the end? It is, resilience comes down to how we're really truly thinking within ourselves and our reality, and how we're moving through our life. We become braver when we realize that we can stop our monkey mind, and at any given moment, even if we feel like we're getting entrenched into a story that we don't like, as soon as we say, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm stopping my monkey mind, I'm reinventing myself, I'm telling myself I'm nothing, I'm going to reinvent myself into what I really truly desire, and I'm going to watch everything around me change, because I changed from the inside out. This is a week or energy this week that we can start to do that. We can start to work on our strength from the inside out. It does give you freedom and peace of mind to know that you can stop that monkey chatter. You can stop where your reality is going down an awful path that you don't like. And you can say by the strength of myself and who I know I am, I am not going to focus in on that reality anymore. It's not giving me any benefits. And the more I focus in on it, the more it comes at me. So I'm going to let it go and trust this unknown vortex of what's my desire, and see if I can start to recreate or bring that in to my reality. So it's a really huge transition, I know. But if we do it a little bit at a time, we try a little bit at a time, it will help. Because we'll see cracks in our reality that we didn't see before, or we'll have understandings that we can actually stop those awful moments. We don't have to get angry. Alice is jumping at my door. She wants to come in. Okay. Hi, Sky Imagine. Hi, Darlene and Divine. Good to see you guys. Okay, see what the tarot have to say here. No, pick up these ones. And the problem is if I let Alice in, she starts to call in the weirdest places and makes all this noise. I had her in before. Queen of Swords. Chopping out the thoughts that we don't desire anymore. Chopping out those things in our reality that we don't desire anymore. Speaking up. She knows who she is. Queen of Swords. She speaks the truth. She knows. She backs herself 100%. Doesn't matter what's being said. It's interesting too on this card. They're showing, really bringing up, and I never noticed it before. There's these three guys that have a canoe on their head, and they're moving towards the water. It's like they're covering. They're literally telling me that it's like they're covering their heads. They can't. They're telling me something like they're walking blind by not seeing the value of both sides of the intuition, the imagination, all that, and logic. That if they're out of balance, it's almost like you're walking around blind. You've covered yourself and you're walking around blind like this, like if you're blind, you're looking, you're feeling for things outside of yourself that might come at you. And they're showing me in my mind that's what we've got to stop doing. We've got to acknowledge there is another part of ourselves that we have never been taught about, or we've actually been taught to close off. And then, and that when we start to bring that back into balance, we're literally peeling off the veil off our eyes. We're not grasping at things to help us. Oh my God, I feel so out of balance. I need someone outside of myself to tell me how I should move through this life. Instead, you're taking off that veil where you can see way more. You can see as the observer of your reality that you are the creator, that you've decided to come into this energy, that you chose what energy to come into and what one to hold on to and what one to let go of and all of that. So the Queen of Swords is someone who knows thyself. She stands firm in her beliefs. She knows it doesn't matter, she's got the veil off her head. She's taken it off. And she's not afraid to look at herself either and see where she's gone wrong. And we've got to be in less fear of that as well. We're not always going to be perfectly driving through this reality all the time, but when we do realize that there's more to the way that we can handle things and create our reality, that we don't have to just wait for someone to tell us how to do it, that we have more power within our psyche to imagine a new reality, and it can be grounded, and we start to bring in people that are in line with that reality. We become the Queen of Swords. Eight of Chalice. So Eight of Chalice, he's always looking quite, it's like dissatisfied with life, even though it's like the cups are all full and he's done everything he's supposed to do. He did everything they told him. He saw the fireworks. He saw all the beauty that came out of those Eight of Chalices, but he's just like, oh, you know what? I really had enough. I want to step out of this. And it always seems to be like the stepping stones, like starting to move from one stepping stone to another out of a reality that's already, this reality that we've just come out of, or I feel we've just come out of, where it was really out of balance and we were looking for someone outside of us to save us, was already programmed for a certain response. It was already programmed to have us feeling in survival mode and not feeling like we had any sort of power. And so it's time to step out and just realize that even though we don't know where we're going, we might feel tired from and exhausted from that we've been through. It does get lighter as you go along. You start to see the rewards coming in that you are creating, rather than asking somebody else to tell you your path. We're not little children anymore. We don't need somebody to be telling us anymore. And that's one thing that they constantly put in my mind as I was growing up. Like humanity and their whole consciousness is like a teenager now, like growing into an adult. And what do teenagers do? They start to push back. They start to say, no, you showed us your way. I understand your way now. But I've decided I want to try something different. And so we start to stand up instead of having the overbearing father pushing us in the corner. We start to stand up and say, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to try something completely different. And father's like, you can't, because then you'll be outside of my reality and I won't be able to follow you because I'm stuck in this. And so they keep trying to push you in that corner. So humanity's consciousness is literally learning how to become adults within ourselves and taking responsibility for everything that we create. Yeah. So gifts are coming. They are on their way. New journeys are arriving. We're starting to see new growth on those wands that we've put in the ground and said, there's my boundary, not going past that. But new things are coming. And here's the page of, or the Knave of Chalice, Page of Cups. With the fish in his cup, there's an offering being offered to you. Why is there an offering being offered to you when you step outside of the old program where everyone's looking outside themselves to heal themselves? Why does that happen? Well, because or when you start to see what you want, what you desire, you start focusing in on that more, and then that in reflection, the universe will always give you what you're focusing on, whether it's good or bad. It doesn't make any difference. It's just focus. And so when we start to shift our reality from, oh my God, woe is me, I'm in survival mode, I'm never going to get what I want, this is going to be doom and gloom for the rest of my life, I'm going to have to struggle all the time, I'm a slave to corporations, laws and restrictions and all of that, and then we shift it into, you know what, I'm not focusing in on that anymore. I'm going to find a new path. I'm going to try something completely different. I'm going to be me. I'm going to bring in the gifts that I have. I'm going to trust those gifts. I'm going to move through life that way. And then you start to see the gifts will start to come your way. That's why the page Chalice comes up in readings when we've actually done the work. Because the universe knows now specifically what you're focusing on is what you're creating, and you're focusing on what you want rather than what you don't want. Morning, Michelle and Katie, good to see you. Okay. Oh, one more just popped out there. We are leaving behind the Ten of Swords, right? We're standing up for finally. And interesting too, never even really noticed this before either. In this deck, they have this person who's like a dark, controlling, or coming up to this guy who's lying down, feeling victim, feeling tired, feeling exhausted, having all the swords stuck in his back, feeling like he can't get up, can feel the storm coming up, always senses that someone is observing him, always senses that somebody is overlooking him. When he stands up, and he'll actually, when he does stand up, all those swords fall out. He'll see that he's way taller than this person, that the person because he's lying down, only looks huge in his mind because he's lying down. So it's not until we literally stand up and take these reins back that we realize those that thought they had power over us are already coming from their own lack of control within their own self, their own minds. And so once you say no to that, then their job is they have to go either seek somebody else to control because they don't feel like they can with you anymore, because no matter what they do with you, you'll find a crack out of it. You'll find a loophole. You'll find a way to get out of it. And you don't give your focus in on the things that they say, aha, I've got you here, I'm controlling you. You just go, oh yeah, that's interesting that you tried that, but I see this over here, and I'm trusting. I'm trusting that the universe is going to supply me what I'm really going for, and it will. It will bring it into your reality to make your life easier and whatever you want to do. Okay, so let's open up the... I'll do one more card while we're opening up for... Oh, these are my other cards. Opening up for free CHATBAR reading. One more card for the Jonar. Maybe affirmation to think about for this week. Be a good thing, affirmation. Release your ties to the past. When you let go the old, you make room for the new opportunities. That is brilliant. So everything that I was just talking about, we're learning to free our mind, to finally release what we don't like in our reality, and it all will be coming from our mind. Oh my God, I have to think this. I have to protect myself of this. I have to make sure all this is done. Instead of focusing on a beautiful life and allowing beautiful things to come in and not worrying about the rules and restrictions or so forth anymore. I'm trusting my opportunity to show up as the Page of Chalice and gift me what I need. So releasing ties to the past is the energy and the affirmation for today. When you let go of the old, you make room for the new, something completely different, right? Set a goal, write it down, and release the outcome. Small steps make big differences. Goals. So let's focus in on our goals this week, not on what we can't have. Righty-yo. Who have we got here? So, going to divine. Divine energy. Too many. Just want one. Divine energy for this week. Seven of Swords. Knight of Swords has come out. So I feel like there's a new beginning coming in for you. Knight of Swords. Moving swiftly through your, literally seeing you cutting out everything that you don't want. Seven of Pentacles. It's like you've been working on something for a while and you're still wondering, like there's a wonder here of, do I keep going down the same road again, or do I try something different? Like this person, the Queen's literally offering him, here we go. I see you're saving up all of these pentacles and you're working on all of this. Here's another one. And you're like, do I want to keep doing that? Is this really giving me what I really, truly want? And that comes back to bringing yourself back to blank and then asking yourself, what do I truly want in my reality? Because there, at any given moment, you can change your reality up. If you're not happy with what you've been working with, and you can shift things quite quickly, quite swiftly, but it comes down to an absolute decision. It comes down to, I know what I want now. I'm going for that. That's going to make me happy. Whatever that was that I was working on before, I thought that would make me happy, but I'm going to let it go because I now know exactly what I want. Or I'm going to accept that coin. I'm going to accept that coin from that princess. I'm going to accept that gift, and I'm going to be in this 100%. I'm not going to be like that wishy-washy where the universe is like, yes, she wants it. No, she doesn't. Yes, she does. No, she doesn't. Okay. So that was for you, Divine. Paula. Romance, Paula. Two of Cups has come out. So this can be you seeking some companionship. In these cards, for some reason, the Two of Cups looks like this. And it looks like she's seeking something, and it's coming out behind here. Like if you, the seeking that you're asking for, to be, this person looks like they're wanting to be saved. We have to be careful when we are asking for a new relationship to come in, and it doesn't matter if it's love, friendship, or whatever, even within the family dynamics. If we are asking from a vulnerable position, needing to be saved in any aspect of our life, that person will come in, kind of look like they're saving you, but because you haven't saved yourself, you're reliant on them, you're vulnerable. Instead of her saying, you know what, I'm going to free myself first, and then I'm going to seek those outside of me to be a reflection of the freedom that I feel within myself. So there's a Tower moment that's also coming up here too. And maybe it's that Tower moment of breaking free or through some sort of vulnerability that you have, that you're seeking outside yourself for somebody to come in and help you. Instead allowing yourself, just give yourself that strength. If you took the dive off that tower yourself and you trusted the leap of faith into the unknown, then the unknown will support you. And so we have to take back the responsibility that we're the ones that untie our knots. We're the ones that untie our own quack. We cannot be reliant on somebody else to do that, because then you've already given your power away to them, and that stops you having full-on relationships that are meeting you conducive in a beautiful way. So just be aware of that this week. Sarah, no. You have so much love, Sarah. Leanne. Okay, we'll do Sarah first because she's got yes please down below there. But I was going to just pull that card out, but I'll focus on Sarah. Ace of Swords has come out for you, Sarah. Ace of Swords, cutting through the old to make way for the new. Pretty much what the Oracle card said at the end of the general reading. Ace of Swords is I am now knowing what I am, who I am, and where I'm going. But every time something comes your way that isn't conducive to you creating what you want, you slice through it, just going, no, this isn't my new beginning. No, I don't need that. I'm not going to even contemplate, think, feel into that anymore. I'm going to use my sword to set my boundaries and go, no-go zone in my mind, no-go zone. Because I now know that when I am focusing in on creating something brand new, it might feel wobbly, it might feel different, it might feel like that, but I know that it's the right place to go because I chose it. And when you chose it, you're the ace then. You're the one that's beginning. You're the one that's starting your day with a new step, instead of focusing in on something that you don't, that's old of the past, that's repeating, which is literally what our educational system teaches us, right? Copy and paste, copy and paste. Yes, you'll get an A if you copy and paste. Yeah, right. Okay. Who else have we got here? Leanne. Leanne, we have the Magician coming in for you in the Chariot. Ooh. So Magician is the first card that came up for you. Like, it's interesting the feeling I'm getting from this card for you. This card usually, it represents, we have all the tools within our kitty, that within our psyche, within our knowing, to create or be the magician in our life and literally ground magic into our life or create the reality that we desire. It's interesting though, I'm seeing it even more beyond that. It's like they're saying, yes, you've got all those tools and now become one with them. Asking you to become one with an acceptance that you are all of that. It's quite powerful. And that's going to move you through the next stage of your life, becoming one with the knowing that you have these abilities within you to carve or create a new story. And then all of a sudden, just that knowing that you are all of those tools, that you have them, but you are them, ends up moving you forward faster towards something. It's out of a place of unknowingness, where before it's like, well, what do I follow? Instead of what do I follow, we've got to be asking ourselves, what do I want to create? So there's something new coming in your reality, but it's coming from a place of self-acceptance, accepting everything within you, that there is no wrong or right, and how you feel is fine. Just accept it, even if it is feeling a bit off. It's telling you that you're further away from loving yourself. So there's a message there or a lesson there for you to learn from. But you can, when you accept it, you can move through life easier. Remembering that when I do these readings for everybody, if you're not chosen or anything like that, then there could be a message in it for you. I feel like some of these messages are for a broader audience, not just the one that I'm reading for at the time. Okay. Sarah Case, I'm fully tapping into my warrior. I love that. Okay. Sasha gave me the absolute best review on Facebook. Thank you so much, Sasha. I'm thinking of putting that one on my website if I have your permission. So grateful that she's helping me get my name out there. I've got such a beautiful team here. I feel like we are on this journey together. It's, we're moving through this together. Mario from France, nice. Good to see you again too. Who else have we got here? Sky Imagination. We have the 10 of Wands come up. Okay. Be aware for yourself that you aren't staying in the same position because it worked before, and because they're telling me that if you do, it will feel like you're stuck and it'll just burn up around you. So there's action needed here to take a new step, something new. And if there is a new step out of something, an old pattern or an old where reality is constantly repeating itself around you and you're just sort of going through the steps over and over again. If you do take a new adventure out of that, why not make it the absolute best that you desire? Why not say, well, if I have to move out of this that is becoming too much for me, I might as well utilize that to choose exactly what I really truly desire, because then she will pick up those wands that she needs and use them to set specific boundaries and know and focus in on what she wants. And yes, she might create ripples as she goes where other people around you are not used to you standing firm in what you truly desire and want to bring into your reality and ground into your reality. And they might not resonate with that anymore. Let them move away, let them fall away, because it's opening up your reality to new opportunities coming in, which is really cool. Okay, what else have we got here? I don't really want to follow all the way down my list all the time. Of course, I have permission. Thank you, Sasha. I will put that on my website. So I'm going to change up my website if anyone cares to go have a look at it. I'm going to do some new things for my intuitive counseling so that there's a lot more you can choose from and stuff. That's going to be my next couple of weeks that I'm going to work with. I still have something really brilliant coming up too that I want to share with you guys when that takes place. I'm not telling you until it takes place, though. That's very exciting for my career. Have we got here? So, Joe. I met wonderful Joe. She's absolutely beautiful lady. We had a great conversation. So, kind of wish it was for a bit longer next time, right? 5 of Wands you have. So you might be preparing for something that's coming at you. Just be aware of you preparing for something. Come up with the 2 of Swords as well. So we're not wanting to see this, whatever it is that's coming. It's almost like, I don't want to see this. So I'm going to block my ears or close my eyes or whatever, almost like put that canoe on the head. I don't want to see it. But then you become the person that's grasping outside yourself to try to fix something while you're blind within yourself. So there's a feeling of moving into the strength of yourself I want to see all that is going wrong, all that isn't resonating with what I conducively want to create. I want to see it. Let's just see it. Let's just put it on the table. I'm not afraid anymore. Let's just see it for what it is. And then I'm not going to project myself by going, see that's all wrong. I'm going to look at myself and go, why do I feel defensive with that? Why have I brought that in? Why am I feeling defensive? And I need to protect myself, because half the time it's not in what's coming at us. It's actually in our picking up that wand and fighting that brings that energy in. And it starts off with a thought of, oh my God, that might happen again. And so we get on the defensive, and we're not allowing ourselves to look at ourselves properly and see in reflection what we've been defending about. Yeah, so there's something, almost seeing the story play out in my head as I'm talking. That's why it's a bit, it's almost like a good way of looking at this is if someone has an accident and say they're driving in a car and it's raining and everything's, they've got someone chatting to them about, I don't know, their brand new gold keychain. And they're just going, oh, I got this new gold keychain. It's so beautiful. And it looks like a circle and I don't know, something beautiful. It has a ruby in it or something like that. And then they're in the car and it's raining and it's storming and then they crash. And then they end up in an ambulance and they're unconscious. And then the person that's talking is talking about their problems or with their issues with their partner. Oh my God, they went up me and and they got really angry and Well, then a year later, here's the same person who was unconscious when this happened, and they see a gold keychain. And when they see that gold keychain, because they were unconscious, in the ambulance, all of a sudden, because that gold keychain is next to a neuron path that hasn't been looked at properly, about the unconscious chatter that they actually heard unconsciously. They literally saw it from outside their body, heard somebody talking about somebody being angry with them in a partner. Then when they see that gold keychain, it ends up bringing up the fact that, oh my God, I'm going to be in danger. I'm going to have an accident. Something's going to go wrong. That person's coming at me, and it actually activates your brain into a defense mode of, I've got to protect myself. So just be aware that's why I said just let everything come out on the table so that you can look at everything, because there might be something subconsciously that is playing out that you are protecting yourself against, and yet all you're doing is creating the problem, because the person that's next to you that showed you the gold keychain, you start fighting with them and they're like, what the heck's just happened there? I don't even get why you're angry with me, and you can't help it because you're coming from an subconscious point of view. Yeah, so just be aware, because neuron paths are like that. Neuron paths in your brain will be activated, and then they join with another story and another story and another story, and they activate each other. So the only way to stop that is to go, I want to fully look at those stories, and then I'm going to see it for what it is. I get it now. I'm going to go back to where it first started, and I'm going to get where that story started from so that I can unravel the neuron paths and realize whenever I see a gold keychain, instead of feeling awful, I'm going to start feeling good about myself. I'm going to say, oh, that's beautiful. And I'm going to change up. So then the neuron path will start to have a gap between the problem and the gold keychain, and then you won't have the same reaction. I know that is a big story, but I wanted me to bring that out. So Debbie Oliver, and that goes for everybody, right? We all have these subconscious little R's, especially if we have had accidents and things have happened in our life where we have become unconscious. But even without unconsciousness, like I was sick one time when I ate saveloys, and then from then on, the smell of a saveloy made me sick. But it's nothing to do with the saveloy making me sick, because it would never make me sick again. It was just that one saveloy, right? But my brain tells me so, because saveloy and the smell of saveloy is next to vomiting. So in my brain. And so we have to unravel the story, and I started to train myself. I love the smell of saveloys. They're not that bad. They actually taste good. And now I love saveloys. I'm fine with them. They never make me sick anymore. So we can change up the story. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, who else have we got? Debbie Oliver. Debbie Oliver. It's way too many. Debbie Oliver. Debbie Oliver, High Priestess. Ooh. funny thing is, just before the High Priestess come out, before I said your name, the Empress came out. So you're starting to stand in your power, and you're at least been asked to stand in your power. Interesting. Yeah, standing in your power, your intuitive power, your understanding that you can back, you're allowed to back your intuition just as much as what you back your logic. If everyone backed their intuition exactly the same as what they back their logic, then hello, wouldn't this be a totally different reality? You know, walking down the street and somebody comes at us and I have a really bad feeling about going down that path. And they say, where's the logic in that? And you say, nah, I'm sticking with my feeling. I have a bad feeling about going down that path. Then you won't go down that path. But if you just ignore your intuition and you're following your logic, or where's the logic in that? Well, there is no logic in that. Okay, I'm going to ignore my gut feeling and I'm going to go down the path. I bet your boots you'll end up having something that you don't like coming at you. We are guided by a core energy within us, and there is things within our body that are connected to many things, many nerves and many, and it's like at the center. The bringing up when I was attacked by a pretty malevolent being, and then I saw a burst of light shoot out between my solar plex and my heart. Literally saw this light shoot out, and then this benevolent being couldn't raise its vibration with me, because there's this core within us all that is connected to everything, and it's kind of like our fingers can be antennas, and our hair can be antenna, our feet and how they're walking can be an antenna to this core of ourselves, where we can, and that's where intuition can come in. Oh, I got this gut feeling, right, about something. So you're stepping into the High Priestess and the Empress of yourself, and understanding that you can trust that intuition. You can trust it. It's there for a purpose. It's there for a reason. Okay, Maggie. Joe, cool, love it, makes sense given where I'm right now. Oh, that's great. I'm glad that I can help. What's it doing, Maggie? You know, whenever I do readings or anything for anyone, I have to completely blank my mind of what I think they are, who I think they are, what they did before. I completely blank everything. I just go, right, fresh start. This reading has nothing to do with the last reading, has nothing to do with what I knew of them. And I just can't keep coming back to where's the messages coming from. And I think we need to do that within our own minds, of letting go of those old stories, so that we keep bringing ourselves back to. And the more often we do that, the more we start to trust, we can actually carve a path instead of, you know, you could do it and then you can feel you're going squiff again, bring yourself back. And then the more you do it, the longer that journey becomes, that you're creating your reality. And then you start to see the fruition of everything grounding. You start to see the gifts coming, like I did. Within a year, I ended up manifesting my own, turning the key to my own home, meeting the man of my absolute dreams. Now I have a life where there's no arguments or anything. We just so easily get along with each other. Yes, we have our moments where we're feeling a little squiff ourselves, but we respect each other, and we allow it to move. We allow to move through it while looking at ourselves and not pointing the blame at the other. And it's just so much easier. So much easier. You're welcome, Debbie. Glad it resonates. So yeah, I do readings, and I am in the process of changing up my intuitive counseling, which is on my website. The link is down below. www.codes to a new reality. Just go on the intuitive counseling, and I'm going to change all of that to helping maybe even couples. I did a couple for the first time about a month ago, and it worked really well. So and then there can be relationships within your businesses and stuff like that. So I'm going to change all that up. I'm also going to be bringing in a Zoom, like a Zoom conference, and then maybe grab pieces of that Zoom to create a YouTube. So it could be bits of it could be recorded. So you can come in on the Zoom, say that you don't want to be involved in being on the live, like it being published on YouTube. And then I'll put your name down and see. I won't choose bits and pieces around you, but I'm thinking that's how I'm going to do it. And then we can gather more as a family coming in together. So yeah, good to finish off on one message that's come up, which is really cool. No, that's not going to happen. So the last message that I had for everyone was the moon in reverse. And this is the illusional story that we are dropping, that is falling away. We think our reality is only projected from the outside in, and it is not. We've got to start realizing and taking responsibility for everything that who we feel we are, and whether that is something swift going wrong in your life or not. Point the finger back at yourself first. Just see where you can shift up. And if you feel like you're still holding, if something bad comes towards you, say for instance, something negative that you don't like coming towards you, if you're standing in your power, then you will still feel really good walking away from that, and you won't even see it as an issue. If you're not standing in your power, then you'll bring it in and you'll make it worse and bigger than Ben-Hur. And that's the illusion, because we're not looking at who we are and the power that we've given away to that circumstance or that person. So yeah, I think I'll end it there. Until next time, guys, Thursday morning, I'm going live with my channelings, and I'm probably going to bring in another thing as well. So I want to do maybe 3 or 4. It might not be live, but messages coming through, and maybe doing some more videos. I did do a new video. Just look up on my YouTube. There is a video on there that's brand new. It's about 4 minutes long. It has a powerful message in it. Go watch that one. There's so many of them on my channel. I have literally hundreds of messages on my channel. I also have stepping through a portal into Arcturia, New Earth, Pleiades, and the elementals, and a future Earth or something like that. And I'm going to look at doing another Pleiadian one because I felt so good creating that. And I'm really close to the Pleiadian energies, or the higher frequencies of the Pleiades, literally because I was found by a Cherokee elder, and she told me that's pretty much where my soul comes from, but I know I'm beyond that as well. So in any case, I could even make one of stepping through a portal into source energy. That could be interesting too, right? Because I have experienced that as well, which is another story, which is all on a video on my channel. You just have to sift through. There is literally hundreds and hundreds of videos on my channel, messages from source energy and everything. I love you guys heaps. Until Thursday. Bye.